Hello, Bryant Park. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here today to tell you what we're all doing together as part of this movement. Because what makes Cycle for Survival special is that each and every one of us, everybody riding, everybody supporting our rides, everybody who's touched and supporting this movement is contributing to this extraordinary effort. And the results that we're getting and that we're going to keep getting are because of everything that all of you are doing. And I just want to spend a few minutes telling you about what's unique about Cycle for Survival so that hopefully you can go and tell somebody after today who doesn't know about Cycle and bring them here next year and grow this movement even further. What makes Cycle for Survival different than other foundations or the NIH or other funding mechanisms that fund cancer research is that it's willing to fund the best ideas right when they're the kernel or the nascent idea, when it begins. Most conventional funding mechanisms want to fund science and clinical trials when they know it's going to work. They want to fund things when you already are all the way getting to the answer, to the goal line, if you will. What Cycle for Survival, what makes this different, is that over and over again, over these past 13 years, we've been able to fund the best ideas from the best clinicians and scientists out there right when they think about it and draw it on a whiteboard or look at a computer screen and have an idea or do an experiment. I really want to start this idea, and how can I do it? You know who supports it? Cycle for Survival. And you know what happens 5 years later when things like that happen? We see success, and then other people begin to fund that effort. So all of our funding and support, all this incredible energy and motivation we're doing, all of the money we're raising every year has a multiplier effect. So that when we bet on ideas and they start to work, everyone else funds them. So we're the early investor. We're the one who's betting on the big ideas, and once they're successful, it grows and grows and grows. And that's because of what all of you are doing, all of us together. So I thank you for that. So what have we done? There are so many amazing examples, and I have many of my colleagues here from Team HOP, and it's really amazing to think about all the amazing work that all of them are doing in the lab, in the clinic. I'm a leukemia doctor who takes care of adults with acute myeloid leukemia and also studies acute myeloid leukemia in the laboratory. And I decided to focus my career on AML, as it's called, because when I began my career as an oncologist 15 years ago, there were no new ideas and no new treatments. And there had only been 2 drugs approved for AML in 40 years. That's simply unacceptable. And I believed that through science and through understanding the disease, opening the hood and understanding the molecular circuitry of leukemia, we could identify new targets and make better, safer, more effective drugs than what came before. And you know what happened? Cycle for Survival understood that, and they bet on a group of us studying leukemia 8 or 9 years ago and doing innovative ideas. And 3 years later, based on that work, we went into the clinic with some of those ideas with clinical trials. And within 3 years, we had 2 different drugs approved, and just this past year, in the past 2 years, we've had 6 new drugs approved for acute myeloid leukemia, 3 of them directly resulting from Cycle for Survival. And the reason I tell you about that is that that's not what we're doing at Sloan Kettering. That's what we're all doing together, and we should all be proud of successes like that. But the most important thing to really leave home with today is that we haven't done enough. There are too many people out there. We all have examples in our family, our friends. We all know stories of people with rare cancers where the outcome is just not acceptable. And we cannot stop until we beat those rare cancers one after the other after the other. So what I'm most excited about is not what we've done and the successes we had, but as Wayne Gretzky says, not where the puck is, but where the puck is going. And what I'm most excited about is, for example, yesterday I was in my laboratory around 3 o'clock talking to a new graduate student in the lab about some ideas she had to accelerate drug discovery and to do things at a 10-fold faster rate to screen leukemia drugs in ways that we didn't even think of 3 years ago. And the exciting thing is we're able to tell her, yes, you can do that because we have mechanisms like Cycle for Survival that can rapidly deploy research support within months to test those ideas and not wait years for somebody to actually support that. And that's what I'm most excited about. And the other exciting thing, I think, is the idea not only of treating cancer once people have cancer, but fundamentally, can we actually turn the story on its head and prevent cancer? And many of us at Sloan Kettering, many of us here today are involved in innovative ideas using molecular tools to detect people who are at risk for getting cancer years before they have it. And we started a clinic about a year ago, a group of us together, the first of its kind worldwide, to begin to use molecular tools to identify people at risk of blood cancers to actually see them years before anything would happen to them. Since that occurred last year, 7 other centers have opened those clinics. But who was first? Us, because we had Cycle for Survival who was willing to support us. So when we had the idea, it was boom, let's do it and let's get it on. And what I'm most excited about, though, is not identifying people at risk for getting cancer. I want to see us treat people who are at risk for getting cancer with effective, safe treatments so they never get cancer in the first place. And what we're going to do this year, and I'll come back and tell you about it next year, is begin innovative clinical trials now where we intercept cancer years before we do it. And I'm excited about the idea of having molecularly targeted or smart drugs that can actually prevent cancer without side effects so people never end up in that place in the first place. So from everybody at Sloan Kettering, the doctors, the nurses, the scientists, all of us, our patients together, everyone who's here riding, everyone who's supporting all of us riding, this incredible movement we're doing, we've had so much success, we have so much more to do, and we are not going to stop till we do it together. Thank you so much for all you do. Let's ride, and let's beat rare cancers once and for all.